Post-Impressionist artist Vincent van Gogh has left a great impact in the world of art today. Born in 1853 in Groot-Zundert, Netherlands, Van Gogh was surrounded by art his entire childhood due to his mother being an artist and his other relatives working as art dealers. After moving away to London in 1873, Van Gogh became interested in English culture and fell in love with an English girl, Eugene Lawyer. However, after rejecting his marriage proposal, he suffered through a mental breakdown, and this later led to him devoting his life to the church. Despite wanting to become a minister, Van Gogh refused to take a Latin exam due to his belief that Latin was a dead language, belonging to the lower class, thus leading to his inability to gain the title. After being dismissed by the church, Van Gogh pursued his art career in Brussels and was financially supported by his brother Theo. Living in Paris with his brother, Van Gogh was introduced to Impressionist art and took inspiration from the colors and light. Throughout his life, Van Gogh's relationship with women never ended well. Along with these problems, his family refused to financially support him unless he left a lover who was a prostitute, and this contributed very bad to his mental illness. In September 1882, he decided to move to Drenthe and isolate himself from society. There he was inspired by the region and its people. Viewed in the Getty Virtue Museum, Irises by Vincent van Gogh is part of several paintings created a year before his death. Inspired by Japanese art and Eastern philosophy, Van Gogh began creating irises, a painting of plants and flowers he would find around the asylum he resided in Saint-Remy, France. Painting meant a great importance to Van Gogh because it was what kept him sane during dark times in his life. When analyzing this painting, we can see the waviness of flower stems and leaves and how they are all unlike each other. If we view these irises as people, this signifies how everyone is different, and what each of these look like represents their individuality. While some flowers look freshly bloomed and stand straight, other flowers look as if they're withering away, and their stems look bent as if they were stepped on. This can be represented as some people live lavishly while others struggle and can barely stay alive. Van Gogh may view himself as one who struggles to live day to day. When observing the shades of color, Van Gogh describes them to his brother in a letter as violet irises. Amid the violet irises, there is one white blooming iris. The white iris may be a representation of the odd one out of society. They are not like the others. His original idea was to have the color of the iris the same in his painting by mixing blue and red pigment, but it later faded, leaving more blue visible. The lighting of the setting can be suggested to be from the sunlight outside. The vibrancy of the colors and the flowing of the flowers going to the same direction can support this. The brighten in this artwork can also suggest that Van Gogh felt peaceful in that moment at the asylum. The cultural significance of irises in a lot of Vincent van Gogh's paintings with flowers and nature can be seen as an influence of art around the world. An important element that people admire about irises is the bright shades and beauty of the flowers. Octave Mirbeau, a late owner of the painting after Van Gogh's death, stated, "How could a man who has loved flowers and light so much and has rendered them so well, how could he have managed to be so unhappy?" We can understand the feeling of happiness and peace this gave those observing the paintings, and we can therefore conclude Vincent van Gogh's contribution to the development of post-impressionist artists. French painter Edouard Manet was born in 1832 to a first-class family. Manet at an early age was interested in art and creativity. Due to this, however, his family refused to accept such interest and sent him to the Navy. However, after repeatedly failing the naval exam, he went back home, and his parents eventually became supportive of his pursuit to be an artist. Early in his career, Manet began using a more impressionist style for his work. Along with this, he used everyday people as his subjects, including street entertainers, gypsies, and beggars. Critics believed that these subjects were unconventional and were either confused by his focus or impressed. According to an article by Biography, Manet was a contradiction, both bourgeoisie and common, conventional and radical. Edouard Manet's legacy would be remembered by his artwork from realism to impressionism. In Spring by Edouard Manet, his subject is a beautiful actress from Paris named Jeanne de Marcy. This is not the only painting of this nature, but is part of a 4-season series depicting the ideals and expectations of women throughout all seasons. In this painting, de Marcy is portrayed as a rich socialite standing in a poised position in front of what looks like a bush or branches of a tree. The line of the umbrella, branches, and even the way she is standing can be a clear translation of how perfect everything should be for the subject. As for the colors, what she's wearing seems to be all earth tone colors which greatly complement the background of nature. Although the lighting in this painting may suggest it's a bright sunny day out, the attire and accessories of de Marcy tell otherwise. The bonnet and umbrella being used could signify the importance of protecting one's fair skin, thus falling into the idea of women's roles to be beautiful always. These factors are what Monet attempts to present, are the restraints that women had to present a perfect exterior no matter what. The cultural significance of this art piece not only transcends the Impressionist movement but also touches on feminist ideas. What sets both art pieces together is the use of nature and the inspiration from Japanese art that was popular during the 19th century.